Come on. Go! Goku! Thank you, Dragon Balls!
Later.
Stay alive, Vegeta.
I'll bet my last ounce of pride.
All right, what is going on, gentlemen? Real quick, there is a part 1 to these discussion pieces. I'm joined by Gresh. We're kind of just talking about sort of the state of the game, how we're feeling about specific characters, just the overarching view of things as a whole. Be sure to check out part 1 because my idea for this video kind of stemmed from a discussion we had over on that part. But my part in this video is I wanted to talk about how the player base feels about the game. Are players sort of reaching that sort of fatigue point with the game? One thing that I always notice is there's a honeymoon period for new character releases, regardless of who it is and what they do. But after a while, when the honeymoon period is over, players get tired of that new character. And I've noticed that the honeymoon period for new characters is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And it wanted me to talk about what could be some of the reasons for that. Now, I have my own reasons. Perhaps you have the same ones, Goresh. Maybe did you want to go first and talk about yours, or I start myself, or what do you think?
So you want to just start with talking specifically about characters, people getting tired of fighting new characters?
Sure, yeah, let's start with that one. So I got 3 main points, what I think are what's troubling players. But my first point, when it comes to characters specifically, I think kits are just very padded. And I think this is a symptom of this game just reaching sort of a maturity point. I feel like every gacha is going to suffer from this, where, in your first year or two, very simplistic kits, straightforward abilities, maybe we have high stats as our sort of power creep. But as the years go on and you start adding more technical abilities to these characters, you need to do 4, 5, 6, just several things at once to just scratch the surface as being deemed a decent character. And I feel like that's what we've gotten to with Legends, and I think that's part of the reason why people are sort of tired of every new character release, because now in this modern meta, it feels like you need to do several things to just be decent. If you look at this list of characters that we have now, it feels like everyone does the same things. So number 1, Second Life. So we got Broly, we got Android 17, Golden Frieza, we got Rose, Ultra Sword of Hope Trunks, Gogeta, the Buu Duo conditionally, Shallot, Super Vegito, just a ton of characters with a Second Life. Then you need to pair that with debuffing. Broly, Rose, Sword of Hope, Gogeta, Buu Duo, Shallot, everybody has debuffing. And then you need to have some form of disrupt to stop the long combo potential. Broly has it with his gauge and his arts cost increase. 17 in Golden Frieza, minus 100% key, same idea. Shallot, arts cost increase, key reduction. Trunks, he's increasing your arts cost as well. Disruptive effect when the unique gauge goes off. Sorry, his endurance goes off. Gogeta kills a card and increases arts cost with his unique gauge. It just feels like everybody has to do everything, because we're 8 years into the game and people are sort of tired of that. The padded, overwhelming kits are part of the reason why people are tired. Do you feel that is the same for you?
Yeah, I mean, this goes hand in hand with what we were talking about in the video that we just recorded for my channel. They tried to reset the game last year with the new design philosophy change. They tried to get away from this. This is the whole point behind doing this. Okay, every character does everything. Now what? What's the next step? Well, the next step is to reset the playing field. Okay, they tried it, and within 12, 13, 14 months, we're already back to where we were a year ago. Right? That's the problem. How did we get back here so fast? It took 6.5 years, or almost, yeah, I guess it was technically 7 years, a little bit less than 7 years, because it was right before the 7th anniversary. A little less than 7 years to get here the first time. We managed to get back here in a year and 2 months. How? How'd they do that? I'm genuinely impressed that they managed to go in a circle that quick.
I think what frustrates me too is they put this big effort, they made a big fuss about it, and then in the end, I don't know if they realized it wasn't working or what, but it just feels like they just gave up. The only difference I can see between, say, 2024 Fest and nowadays is two things. One, it's four-string cards is the new way for extending combos. And two, the cover null only lasts 5 timer counts. That's it. It's not 10, it's only 5. Those are the only differences that I see now. Otherwise it's all the same. Everybody has type neutral defensive abilities, everybody has easy ways of refreshing cover null, everyone can now do super long combos because everyone's force-drawing a card in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. It feels like all the efforts that they made a little bit around the Daima campaign is just for naught. It was just useless. There's no point. We're back to square one with higher damage guard though, but thus
plus the battle system changes.
Yeah, but now it's far more suffocating because the list of available characters that you can actually use just feels like it's very, very short, which then goes to another point that I have. So my first point being just the way that every character has to do so many things. But this feeds into another point where it feels like the needle for this game moves too damn fast. I think that's another reason why the player base is just suffering from fatigue, because they have this, it almost feels like a never-ending race where they have to just keep up with where the meta flag is going, and they never get to that because the game moves so damn quickly. I mean, we've seen the damage guard numbers go to just astronomical amounts. Like we had, 7th anniversary, we saw a 230% under specific conditions from Namek Goku, and he felt like he just couldn't die. And a little over a year later, we have characters pushing the 400% mark. And it's like, even that character doesn't truly feel like they're tanking well enough. The game is just pushing the needle.
There's two problems here. The first problem is the biggest way to illustrate this is you take a look at some of these Z tier characters. Like we have Ultra Hit in Z tier. Ultra Hit got his platinum equipment, 13 months ago? Yep. And he needs to be in Z tier, the highest possible tier to compete with these characters. And I wouldn't even say Ultra Hit is like dominating. He's good. That's it. He's not great. He's not bad. He's good. Z tier, 13 months after he got his platinum equipment. That's crazy. That's number one. And then number two, what were you saying? I forgot what my number two.
I was saying that the numbers in the game are pushing really fast, so it's causing players to get a little bit tired of having to keep up.
So the second point I was going to make is the discrepancy between how much damage characters do and how much damage guard they have is, in my opinion, it's too big. And that, I think, is a contributing factor to why they feel the need to give all these disrupt mechanics. We have characters like Vegito Blue who are actually killing characters in 2-strike cards. So we have to have these ridiculous disrupt mechanics. If we didn't have these disrupt mechanics, every character would just instantly die. So there's two ways you could do this. The first way is you keep giving characters absurd disrupt mechanics. Or the other path is you slowly try and close the gap between damage inflicted and damage guard. And then you taper off some of these disrupt mechanics. That's the other, I mean, those are the only two ways that I can see them doing it. But there is a huge discrepancy between damage and damage guard. And I think it's too big.
Yeah. And then that kind of feeds into what my other talking point was. My 3 big points, rather, is I think there's just too many disruptions in the actual combat. And the biggest culprit of this is the supporters. Like at first, when they introduced the concept behind supporters, we thought that, okay, this is actually interesting. The comparison I made was oils in The Witcher 3. So Geralt can use different oils that help him do a little bit extra damage against enemy types. Like, oh, I'm fighting a werewolf. Oh, I'm fighting a wyvern. Oh, I'm fighting a zombie. I can coat my sword with an oil, and I do 10% extra damage against this enemy type. That's how I interpreted supporters, and I thought, okay, I get it. And you extended on that as well, saying this is ideal because it provides another tool to dealing with problematic metas that center around a specific tag, and it becomes something you can pull out whenever the meta changes. So it's something that has value and will consistently have value throughout its entire existence. The problem is, one, they just decided to throw out creativity out the window because now every new supporter is doing one of two things. They are either just providing a little stat buff, or they're a combo stopper, which is unbelievably annoying.
Yeah.
We already talked about every character having to have very powerful disruptive effects because they're just going overboard with how strong new characters are. They are pushing the needle very quick, and the only way to keep up is I'm going to kill 2 of your cards. I'm going to make your cards cost like 55. I'm going to try to seal up this. I'm going to take away this much key. So you got that. And then you got supporters that just come in and stop your combo. These very abruptive combo ending abilities they just take away from that little dopamine hit that you get as you play the game and you do your combos. And I think players hate that. I don't know how others feel, but I am unfortunately very tired of supporters at this point. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of every time I'm playing my high stakes, high fast-paced battle simulator Dragon Ball game that I gotta watch animations play, I gotta watch disruptive effects occur all the time, and I gotta watch, Kid Gohan come out of nowhere and then just come in and stop my combo. It just takes away from the combat flow of the game, and I think players hate that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's two problems here. The first problem is what you already talked about. It's another one of these disruption effects that just completely takes you out of the immersion. It kind of ruins the immersion. The second problem is, again, I mean, how many of these effects do we have? We have 17 total supporters in the game, including the free-to-play supporters. What is it, like 7 out of the 17 all do the same thing? It's all just stopping a combo?
Yep.
And the problem with that is, are they going to be able to create a supporter that is more powerful than stopping a combo? Right? I mean, I'm looking at some of the more creative ones, like King Yama. I thought was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Belmod doesn't stop a combo. He's a different type of supporter.
I hate him.
Shilai doesn't. Supreme Kai of Time doesn't. I don't think I would run a non-combo stopping supporter just because it's not as strong. Stopping combos is so important in this game. So priorities is just the value of getting and maintaining priority is so high right now. Why would you not use a combo stopping supporter? Even if, okay, let's just say you're going up against a full movies team. So you could either use King Yama, or maybe they're using a full Saiyan movies team where you could use Gohan. Who are you picking? Gohan. Because he's got the strongest supporter mechanic in the game, which is stopping a combo. Number one, why are we making all these supporters do the same thing? It, in my opinion, it just defeats the purpose of the mechanic. And then number two, are they going to create a supporter that is better than stopping a combo? Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck with these supporters forever, right?
My worry...
The only way I could see it is if they start power creeping supporters. Now we're going to have a supporter that stops the combo and destroys 2 cards or something.
Yeah,
stops the combo and gives you a Dragon Ball. Stops the combo and increases your damage for 10 seconds. Stops the combo and forces them out, like how Puar does, kind of, right? That's the way you power creep this. Is that what we want? How about we have some interesting abilities? Like I really like King Yama because he's just different. He's a different type of mechanic, and there's no other supporter that has the same mechanic as King Yama. So, I don't know. Let's experiment a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
This game does not experiment even nearly enough with stuff. This is the biggest example. Supporters. You wanted to implement supporters into the game, right? This is them. They made an announcement. Dude, remember when they first announced it? They were like, Tani was like smiling. He's like, "Oh, we have this brand new huge update coming. It's supporters," and trying to hype it up. But it's almost as if they don't even want to make supporters. That's the impression I get from them all doing the same thing, at least.
I think they just don't want to be creative with it anymore, or the idea on paper was more exciting than actually executing it, because this is not the first time Legends has done this, right? Another example is Guild versus Guild. I actually feel like, did they scrap the mode? I feel like they may have scrapped the mode. You would think Anniversary is a good time to do a Guild versus Guild, but there isn't any. I feel like they've just parked that. Yeah,
I don't even know why they would have it again. Like, if just we don't need these modes that are just like placeholder clogging modes. Like, just streamline the game, just get it out.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they've pretty much just given up on trying to be creative with certain things. But those are the three big reasons I feel like players are kind of just tired of things, and I see it all the time with new character releases, right? Like, the honeymoon period ends fast because they all realize it feels like it's all the same thing. Okay, I know he's going to have 2 lives. I know he's going to debuff. He's going to have some frustrating disrupt that I have to put up with. And he's probably going to have some powerful gimmick that, similar to what we talked about in your part, is just some random, just, you know, Hail Mary big gimmick that somebody's going to make a play with that can probably just decide the entire match. And it's frustrating for people. So the next question becomes, how do you move past this sort of thing, right?
Well, there's one other thing I would like to bring up. I'm not sure if you're going to bring this up later in the video, but I think it has to do with this point, which is matches are just becoming very long.
Yeah. But
we take a look at how many different animations exist. Ultra intros. Every character's blue card, by the way, is a melee blue. Basically every single one. So that is another kind of like mini cutscene to deal with. Back in the day, every character did a Kamehameha or a Gallic Gun or a Final Flash at full screen. And that was it. Took 2 seconds. Now you have a melee windup. You have the little animation that plays. We have legend actions. We have spirit bombs. Do the spirit bomb animation. Please give us a skip. I don't want to watch the spirit bomb.
I wonder if that is part of the major update that's later on. What if it's the ability to cut these short, kind of like Dokkan?
Yeah, I don't know, but supporters also factor in too, right? Because there's supporter animations. Ultimates are just more elaborate now, like they're just longer. So I mean, it's not unusual to have a match that goes 9 minutes, and that's not counting the time it takes to find an opponent, you picking your characters. I mean, they give you a minute to pick your characters. Someone could just sit there for the whole minute and do nothing,
which happens
so
often.
when everything's said and done, you could literally be, from the time you press queue up for PvP till the time you're back in that screen, it could be 10 plus minutes, which is insane, utterly ridiculous. For a Proud, I would understand, because you know what you're getting into with Proud. You have multiple matches, but for Standard, that's crazy. Yeah, it's insane.
No, that is a good point, but I felt like it may have fell under the character kits being so padded, because I don't know, if we were able to go back and try to just calculate what the average priority looked like, I would imagine a big part of it is it's much shorter now. Like, you maybe have 3 timer counts worth of genuine comboing sometimes, just because what are you going to do when Broly gets his gauge? What are you going to do when 17 Golden Frieza takes away all your ki? What are you going to do when the Buu Duo disrupts everything? So I wonder if a big part of it is also just, 1, nobody dies because they have all the healing, the second lives, and whatever. And then number 2, it's difficult to actually get a full, fulfilling combo off because everybody disrupts everything. Like, I've had matches where they go to timer count and I'll do 50 million damage. And my opponent will sometimes have 2 characters still alive, and you're like, how is that possible? Each character has like 3 million, 4 million HP. You're telling me I've done his entire team's worth of health several times over, and some people are still alive? That's absurd. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, you could also talk about the fact that most matches go to timer now.
Yeah, that as well.
It's not every match. But back in the day, there certainly were metas where that was, we'd have timer count metas, as people would call them. But it doesn't feel like we're in a timer count meta. It feels like that's just the norm at this point. Like, it is more often you are going to timer counts than actually defeating your opponent's characters.
And I wonder
if
that
doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and I think, that kind of just feeds into the fatigue, because when longer matches with all these things to worry about, it almost feels like there's more mental strain because you have more things you got to pay attention to now. All the character gimmicks, all the disrupts you got to worry about. Pay attention to if their supporter's going to show up. Because sometimes it feels like your opponent can do like, one of their powerful gimmicks. They could just Hail Mary it and that decides the match. I've actually had a match. My opponent had Gogeta Blue, Vegeta Blue, Broly, just a full maxed out, very powerful, well thought out team, and the match was going my way for 90 to 100 timer counts, and I slipped up. My opponent decided to just YOLO his Stardust Fall with his Gogeta. Just, he and I are both just, no, an exchange finished, we're both in neutral, I had Android 13, and he just decided to YOLO the Stardust Fall, and my entire team went to 1 HP. Sometimes that one random YOLO thing that you have to worry about is part of the reason why, because everyone has powerful gimmicks that can decide a fight, and if you're not paying attention, they'll just YOLO it and then you lose. And I feel like that's part of it. And that also goes back to what we talked about in your part, where it's like a lot of RNG aspects to the game. So
yeah, he outskilled you.
Yeah, super padded kits, a lot of disruptive effects, matches drag on for a long time. Riddled with also a lot of coin flips you got to worry about, with extremely powerful gimmicks that can be thrown at, at any moment, at a drop's notice. And I feel like maybe that's sort of like everything all together. Why maybe players are feeling fatigued. Maybe players just don't play as many matches because each match just takes so much more out of them,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certain aspects of characters that get annoying as well. Like, I don't think anybody really likes auto counters. Like having to fight Broly and Buhan, you're gonna have to just trigger it. Like, you can't just forever ignore it.
Yeah.
I think people don't like the Buu duo for the Spirit Bomb animation. Like, just having to watch that constant. Like, it's the longest animation of the game. It's got to be. It's longer than Stardust Fall, right? But there's certain aspects of characters that people just end up not liking, and then that makes them dislike the character overall, I think. Like, if people just don't like one part of a character, they just don't like the character anymore.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because, End Disease is like my favorite moment, and everyone's like, oh my god, I hate this character now.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much captures everything. Player-based fatigue, it's a combination of small things, but once you bundle them all together, you kind of get the full picture of just... There's a lot going on every match, and maybe that's why players just feel the way that they do. They have a little bit less grace with the game when it makes its mistakes. They have a little bit less, I don't want to say optimism, but that honeymoon period for new characters doesn't last as long, just because they know in the back of their minds, oh, I got to deal with this character paired alongside all the other issues we've already listed. So let me know if we missed anything. Comment section down below. Be sure to check out the first part, which I will also be linking and in the description box. Did you have any final comments you wanted to make?
Hopefully, what character I actually don't find to be annoying at all is 17 and Frieza. I feel like they're actually really well designed. Like, I have no problem at all with them.
Yeah, I don't mind them too much either. Part of me wonders if that opinion is going to change once they get the other characters that they need.
Maybe. As possible.
Yeah, because this character screams they need a character like Broly. They need that locking in 100%.
Oh man.
Yeah, so maybe it'll change, but either way, we're gonna leave it there. Let us know what you guys think. But until next time,
you're an incredible warrior. Let's rematch someday.